Well, hello, Internet. Hello, USPSA friends. Many people have been asking me about what's going on with USPSA, this and that, because Matt came out a few months ago, this big war declaration, and then we just see a bunch of stuff happening on the board, like some bylaw changes coming, things like that. So people keep asking what's going on, so I'm just going to give you a little update and kind of the situation as I see it. So today we got some new minutes to look at from the most recent board meeting, and they're pretty interesting if you haven't seen them yet. It looks like the board is afraid of fully running again and winning because they're slipping in they're putting in a bylaw change that would prevent somebody being removed from office from running again. So that's, I mean, I don't think that's a super objectionable bylaw, but it is kind of amusing that they're doing it in response to fully running again for president. I don't think he'd really have a very good chance of winning. Might just be guessing on that. It looks like the board, well, some people are upset about a leaked document. So I shared a picture of something up on Instagram where I was like, hey, big if true. And it looks like true. That was actually part of a legitimate document. If I'm kind of reading the tea leaves on this board meeting correctly. So I mean, the other stuff, I think the big issue in the bylaws now, not the bylaws, but the minutes, is refining the duties of president. And based on kind of the talk at the USPSA member meeting that they did at Nationals, they did it twice. It sounds like they're going to be moving from people electing a strong executive that kind of runs things at USPSA. It'll now be the board will select a strong executive to run things at USPSA. So why is this happening? What's going on? The story from the board, I think it's going to be that Foley was bad. I mean, that's an interesting change. Foley was their boy for a long time, but now that Foley is gone, Foley is bad, and we need to make these changes in response to moves that Foley made, so these sorts of things can't happen again. I'm just going to say, I think that's bullshit. I think a lot of people think that's bullshit. The board, generally speaking, was rowing in the same direction as Foley for his term. I mean, he was a dipshit, don't get me wrong. He was doing crazy stuff, getting into trouble, and they did eventually have to eject him, but I don't think it was really because they wanted to. I think the USPSA is essentially run by this cabal of midwits that just was forced to eject the front man, Foley, because he was really making too many problems for them. So I think the board is seeing, especially back after low cap nationals, I think it was clear that Foley was going to have to go. And I think it was also clear that due to this the last couple of years, how things have been going in USPSA, there's a high likelihood that the person coming in to be president, to be the strong executive, is going to be a dude that the board doesn't like very much. I mean, likely it's going to be Matt. I mean, if they have an election, it's fair and all that stuff. Likely, I mean, I think Matt has the most juice of the people talking about running. He would be the likely guy to win. I don't think the board likes this very much because, again, he thinks differently. He's not one of them. I mean, there was one dissenter on the popper calibration rule change, where it's like, hey, we're going to do popper calibration twice. One guy on the board says, no, we can't do this. Like, I can't vote for this because this is going to make us look stupid. He's like, he just thinks differently than them. And they know that, and I don't think they really like him very much. Anyway, when it became clear that these guys were going to have to eject Foley, I think they started moving quickly on these bylaw changes. They weren't meeting very frequently in the last few months. They're super busy. I've actually never seen them this animated to do anything. And it really does look like they're going to get these bylaw changes done, change the rules of the game before the presidential election, and then, essentially make it not matter who wins because you won't have a strong president anymore. They'll be responsible for, probably just nationals or whatever, and not really have any control. And the board will retain control as they have in the past of the presidency. So that's what it looks like to me. Now, the board appears to be in full freakout mode. Let me pull up this. This was actually really hilarious. This example I'm going to give you reminds me of, like, you walk into your kitchen and you see a your 5-year-old in the kitchen just standing there and look at you and they're like, I didn't go in the cookie jar. And you're just like, what? Fuck, I I didn't ask you that. It's this statement from the Area 2 director kind of reminds me of that. So he's asked a pretty benign question on Facebook. Hey, can you and the rest of the BOD commit that the proposed bylaws change and open membership feedback will be done well before the date when timelines change and a special election is no longer an option? Thank you. Now, this question doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think this guy knows what he's talking about. But the response from the Area 2 director is very interesting. He said, in part, he said, there's nothing sinister in this timeline, no elaborate agenda or plan, just what we believe is best for the org. That's when somebody tells you the truth when they're trying to lie to you. Like, nobody was talking about a sinister agenda or a plan, and he just, like, he's refuting, like, oh, no, that's not happening. And I'm just going to say it. I don't believe you, Leighton. I don't believe you. I think you guys are colluding to fuck up Matt. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah. Now, this might sound a little wild, like it's a conspiracy theory or something. Maybe I could see that. But I think this theory is rapidly moving in the direction of an IQ test, you know? That's what I see happening. I mean, I think the wheels are coming off of this thing and people are figuring it out and they're starting to push back on the board. So it should be pretty amusing the next few weeks. That's all.